What a night! Fight fans! We've just witnessed one of the most unexpected and frankly unfortunate title changes in UFC history. UFC 323 was supposed to be another dominant display from the Flyweight King, Alexandre Pantoja. Instead, we have a new champion, and his name is Joshua Van. But the story of how he got that belt is something no one could have seen coming. Let's break it down. We're at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The main event is set. The seemingly unstoppable Alexandre Pantoja, with a stellar record of 30 wins and 5 losses, defending his flyweight title against the rising star, the incredibly talented Joshua Van, who came in with a record of 15 wins and 2 losses. The hype was real. Pantoja has been a force of nature in this division, a dominant champion who seemed almost unbeatable. Van, on the other hand, is one of the most exciting young prospects in the entire UFC. Known for his speed, his precision, and his relentless pressure. At just 24 years old, he was already making waves, and this was his shot at the pinnacle of the sport. The narrative was clear. Could the young lion dethrone the veteran king? Could Van's youthful energy and dynamic striking overcome Pantoja's experience, his grappling prowess, and his sheer toughness? We were all strapped in for what we thought would be a 5-round war, a tactical chess match, or an explosive firefight. What we got was something else entirely. The bell rings for round 1. Both fighters come out looking sharp. Pantoja, as always, is pressing forward, looking to close the distance and impose his will. Van is light on his feet, circling, using his movement, and looking for openings. The energy in the arena is electric. You can feel the tension. A few exchanges happen, some leg kicks are traded, and both men are clearly respecting the power and skill of the other. It was shaping up to be a classic. And then it happened. In a grappling exchange, a scramble against the fence. Pantoja posted his arm on the mat to try and get up or adjust his position. It's a move we've seen thousands of times in MMA. But this time, something went horribly wrong. His elbow bent in a way it's absolutely not supposed to. It was an immediate, visible, and gruesome dislocation. Pantoja let out a cry of pain, and you could see on his face that his night was over. The fight was stopped instantly. It was a first-round TKO due to injury. And just like that, Joshua Van is the new UFC flyweight champion. He becomes one of the youngest champions in the history of the company, and only the 6th man to ever hold the flyweight belt. But you could see the conflict on his face. This is not how any fighter dreams of winning a title. He raised his arms. The belt was wrapped around his waist, but the celebration was muted. He showed incredible class, immediately going over to check on Pantoja. There was no gloating, only respect for the fallen champion. Of course, the reaction online was immediate and intense. The MMA community on X, formerly known as Twitter, absolutely exploded. You had a mix of everything. Many fans were heartbroken for Pantoja. Comments like, gutted for Pantoja to lose the belt like that after such a dominant run is just cruel, were everywhere. People were praising his reign and wishing him a speedy recovery. He's been such a respected and well-liked champion, and seeing his reign end because of a freak injury felt deeply unfair to many. Then you had the other side. People congratulating Joshua Van, but also acknowledging the bittersweet nature of the victory. Tweets read things like, "Congrats to the new champ, Joshua Van. Not the way he wanted it, but a win is a win. He has a bright future." There's a lot of sympathy for Van, too. He trained his whole life for this moment, and to have it happen this way, through no fault of his own, puts an asterisk next to his name that he didn't ask for. He's now the champion, but he didn't get that definitive moment of proving he was the better man on the night. Some professional fighters and analysts also weighed in. Many pointed out that injuries are a brutal and unfortunate part of this sport. They happen. It's a reminder of the physical risks these athletes take every single time they step into the octagon. The consensus was that while it was a legitimate win for Van, according to the rules, it leaves a huge question mark hanging over the division. So, what happens now? First and foremost, all eyes are on Alexandre Pantoja's recovery. A dislocated elbow can be a serious injury for a fighter, especially a grappler like him. The recovery time and the potential for long-term issues are big concerns. We all hope he can make a full and speedy recovery and get back to doing what he loves. For our new champion, Joshua Van, the future is complicated. He holds the gold, but he knows, and everyone else knows, that there's unfinished business. The most logical next step, once Pantoja is healthy, is an immediate rematch. It's the only fight that makes sense. Van needs the opportunity to prove he can beat Pantoja decisively, and Pantoja deserves the chance to win his belt back in a proper fight. This sets up an incredible storyline for the flyweight division. Will Van use this time as champion to grow and improve, coming back even stronger for the rematch? Or will the pressure of being the accidental champion weigh on him? And for Pantoja, how will he bounce back from such a devastating physical and emotional blow? A motivated comeback story. Pantoja could be more dangerous than ever before. This single, unfortunate moment at UFC 323 has completely shaken up the 125-pound landscape. It's a stark reminder that in mixed martial arts, anything can happen. A fighter's fortune can change in a split second. We went in expecting a war and came out with a story of triumph, tragedy, and uncertainty. It's a bittersweet moment for Joshua Van, a heartbreaking one for Alexandre Pantoja, and a compelling new chapter for the UFC flyweight division. We wish Alexandre Pantoja the absolute best in his recovery.